are in Italy. We are in the wonderful land of Venice in this picture. And we start with this picture because study in Italy, like study all the south of Europe, I think, means study in a country offer you a lot. And that was my first point because really I think uh, we need to support our students to leave the country. I mean, it's so different from student lives maybe and attend college in, I mean, wonderful college maybe in the States where everything is inside. I mean, the most, I mean, a big part of experience to study in Italy means study in Italy, in the stay in the city, able to travel, able to explore. That's the reason why we start with this picture. Uh, yes, thank you, Christine. You want to go? I can go too. And yes, and that's the reason why I put this key highlights for to start because it's something that happened, for example, in Spain is quite the same. So students have to be prepared to live in the big city because usually the most part of academic offer stay in the university in the big city. We have students in Rome. Rome is a very big and with an incredible opportunity, and they need to explore. They need to be ready to leave the city, to leave to explore the country. And we have a very we have very diversity quality of very diversity of university and with a great quality with an international offer grow very quickly. That's happened, better than me, in all Europe. So the program in English are more and more frequently everywhere, and all university, and that's important. I signed the Bologna process, means all university in Europe sign the Bologna chart. That means make all program ready to be compared. So every program for undergraduate means to raise 180 credits and need to be aligned with the same rule, same transparencies, the opportunity to mobility between different university. And that was a very important step in Europe, happened 20 years ago. Before was completely different. Every country had a different kind of process and was difficult to compare. And the opportunity to have the same number of credit, the same program, give the opportunity to the student to move a lot. And that was an incredible step. And this is an image of University of Bocconi, the new campus. Maybe some of you visited, and this is the campus of the MBA, so the very qualified students for very high. I mean, after postgraduate, but it's the new campus just opened a few years ago. So our higher education. So we have 99 university between public, private. We have some telematic, which means online university accredited by our minister. And we have 164 we call AFAM, that means all school put together arts, music, design, and a huge number, like you see, 164 of school, and all are accredited. So they can share, they can compare, they can move, they receive at the end of the story, I mean, a degree like everyone. And we have some very specialized school that they don't have maybe the national accreditation, but maybe they can have accreditation from some university abroad. or they are working for the accreditation of our minister. For some of you visited H-Farm. H-Farm is one of these. It's a school accredited by University of Chichester in UK. Um, and that's mostly for, yeah, very specific school in design, in fashion, polymoda, H-Farm, some school. But on the other side, the great school anyway. And yes, like everywhere, we have public and private. Our system is mostly public university. It's made by public university and very well-known university. We have La Sapienza in Rome, University of Bologna is the oldest one. This is a picture of Bologna and Padova. Very international universities, Ca' Foscari in Venice, and it's a place really I suggest you to explore because it's a public university, made a great effort to be really international. So they have a completely different approach from all the other public university, have an international office, international admission. So they make a lot of effort. So it's very interesting university for students who want to apply to our public university. And we have a very well-known, some of them very, very well-known private university, mostly for business. So we have Luis, we have Bocconi, we have La Cattolica, means many areas, cover many areas, but generally are very specific, like Luis and Bocconi in business. That is something I told you before, and it's very important. Sorry about the graphic, but we are working on this graphic. It's terrible. No, now I know, but I mean, we will work. But it's very important because you can see the difference. You see what we call the primo ciclo. That means what we call the undergraduate program, and means 3 years, and 3 years plus 2 years. That means the second. No, please, can you
I don't know why
come?
it's jumping. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. But anyway, we have 3 years plus two, and it means undergraduate plus postgraduate. And we have some courses are we call one, yeah, when and that means 5 years. So that means you have to take care about the credits. So we have 180 for undergraduate plus 120 for postgraduate. And you arrive 360, that means you cover all the circle. And on the other side, we have some degree. You can change, you can stop in the middle. So we call one circle. That means I mean, yeah, mostly it's medicine, vet, and on the other side, law. So you can have 5 or 6 year, you see. And the difference, you can, I mean, you can change in the middle, but you have to take all the 5 years for or 6 years for medicine. And after you are ready for to take master or for medicine, any kind of specialization, and that makes a big difference from, for example, if you're talking about medicine in other country, for example, in the States. So you start in medicine, and you have directly 6 years. After the 6 year, for medicine, I'm talking, you have you choose, you try to, I mean, you try to be selected for the area you want to specialize. And if you're able to get in the school of specialization, you will go inside and you have 3 or 4 years. During the specialization you work, that means you are paid too. And yes. So the question all the people ask me, you need to speak Italian? Generally, no, because we're talking about English courses, so you don't need to attend the international courses, national courses for sure, obviously. I suggest, like every country, to to be able a little bit to understand the place where you go, no? Because that's because we say you leave the city, you leave the country, you need to enjoy the country where you are. And yeah, like everywhere to join a program, you need to provide to your language in any way. So that's happen everywhere. And yes, how to apply? Depends. It depends. In Italy, it's a word, one of the more famous word, more common words. Depends is everywhere. So, yeah, for the private university, it's easier. You apply directly, like everywhere, and every university is very clear. Have the application process on the website. Bocconi, Luis, Cattolica, Marangoni, Polinguata. E, and they apply, and every university can ask something different and can change every year. You know, Bocconi now ask only for a test and transcript until 3, 4 years ago, ask for a motivation letter and reference, and now they don't want, so they change all the time, but like every university. For the public university, it's completely different. So students, international students, the first things they have to do is to register to Universitaly, and it's the big website where they are a rule inside, you know, they want to be a student in Italy. So when they are registered in Universitaly, um, and after it depends depends about which kind of course and which kind of university too. That means that we have some courses are open, so that means they don't need a special test. Most of them needs a test. Until last year was a talk E. That means the same test we Italian student made for Italian courses and was in English. Now they change. I just spoke yesterday with Ca Foscari. We discussed about this because they just changed with a Saint C, and they have three different period of time. So they have one now in autumn, that means October, November, December, and after with three opportunity to make the test, and after they have a director with all the numbers, and they can repeat the test in February, March. And it's a test mostly for technology, business. They don't need test if they want to study archaeology in Sapienza, for example. The test can be in person or online, and after they have a grades and see if they are able to get it. The number they need to be admitted, it depends by university. Depends, I tell you, the word's very common in Italy. For medicine, public, public, I'm talking about public, they have to take the EMAT. Yeah. And that's interesting because the test, you need to pay very big attention about the timing for the IMAT because it's coming very late. I mean, because generally the test in medicine arrive only in September. That means in September of the year they start. Okay. So they can take the test in the country where they live, or they can come in Italy with a visa It's a visa called visa to study. It's a visa D, I think. And they arrive in Italy to take the test. And if they are admitted, they ask from Italy to stay, to have, to attend the courses. That's for public. For private, for example, medicine in Cattolica, for example, or San Raffaele, or they made the test very early. That means January, February, they have a different session. Mm. And that's what we said, like everywhere, start as soon as I can. I mean, Universal, it's a good platform with many resources. So suggest your student to explore a lot, to go inside and to see about the different steps they have to do. Yeah. In university, generally, every course is start no before than October. Yeah, I wrote September, but generally are October. It's easy. In the private, it may be a little earlier, but generally in October. So they have. What they want? Um, for sure, for Italian students, our diploma of maturità, l'IB, A levels. Generally, for US high school, they want three AP. Mm. And which kind of AP? I suggest to see and read every school, I mean, every public school have, we call the bando, and inside generally is written very clear which kind of IP we need. The question of SAT or SAT or ACT, yes, for some school. In the public, Bologna take the SAT for business and economics. Ca' Foscari take the SAT for some courses, and the private for sure. Yeah. Cattolica, Bocconi, Lewis. Mhm. And the other test we just done. English level, yeah, like everywhere. I don't want to speak about. And maybe yes. I mean, for the public, nothing more. I don't think so. For the private, like every kind of application we have around the world, generally they want a motivation letter, no Bocconi. But yeah, motivation letter, CV, or recommendation. Mm. Um, so the question of cost, the cost, the private, everyone have the cost, their cost. It then depends. Yeah, I just wrote here about 10 and 20. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, the private. But it's interesting to understand what's happening in the public university, because we have something we call diritto allo studio, and I maintain in Italian because that's the name. That means I mean, our law said every students have to have the opportunity to study in our country if they want and if they are able to do. And so the cost is the same for everyone. So we don't have any kind of difference between EU, non-EU. The cost is exactly the same. The cost is, it depends by which kind of subject, yeah, but stay around 1,000, maximum 3,000 maybe for some area where they need slabs on, but yeah, no more than 3,000. And that's very important to know, and that's important to know and to speak with university, understand how they are open everyone, but they have to take care about the place they have, because they can choose. And the cost is the same for everyone. So, yeah. Living is difficult to say like everyone, because if you live in a city like Milan, is completely different if you live in the south of Italy. But yeah, generally, yeah, you can find some accommodation. University can support you privately for sure more because they have, in some case, they have the private building accommodation. Public is some university have some, for example, if you go to Ca' Foscari, we went with some colleagues last year and we visited some housing opportunity, but it's not so easy. But generally, I mean, housing is a big question everywhere. It depends where. I mean, Milan is very expensive city. If you go in small cities, much less, you know. And that means all the costs around the life. So pay attention, like everywhere, where the students go. I mean, it's completely different if you decide to attend a public, la Statale in Milan or La Sapienza in Roma. No? Two public university, maybe the cost is the same for the university, but the cost of the life is completely different. And after that's the cost. Okay, and so I mean, financial aid. You know, with I'm talking about public. The question of diritto allo studio means all students need to have the same opportunity to study. So I need to support, I need like country to support the low income non-student, non-EU student. So sometimes non-EU pay less than Italian students. That's happened regularly in many universities. And we have some national scholarship grants, more grants. That means coming not what we usually intend for scholarship, but it's a formal request we made pass through our Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Um, the- and in the same way, some regional scholarship comes through the university directly. Yes, that's it. Yeah, we have private laws, but that's happen everywhere. So we don't have uh, a conditional offer like we generally intend. Uh, like everyone knows, every offer is conditional because until they complete their diploma, but we don't have generally conditional like happen, maybe something happened in UK. So that means if you attend university, if you are admitted the courses, you are able to attend, you need to work on your visa. And we don't have general, I mean, uh, the question of the deposit, so maintain your place, is it's really up to different universities. Some universities like Padua, I'm talking about public, you know. Padua, for example, ask for a deposit. Venice, only 20 kilometers far away, don't ask for a deposit. So ask to university directly because it's really change and because it's the law they have inside the university, you know. So and yes, and they like everyone, they have the orientation when they come. I mean, and always the same words. Depends. Every university is different. For the private, it's more easy because they need to have some kind of support, you know. The visa, yeah. So the visa, like everywhere, they have to ask the visa, and it's a visa for a long stay. Like I said, they can arrive with a visa to, for example, pay attention about the question of medicine because the course start exactly close to the test because the test is in September and the course start end of October. So they have to come before, and they have to to have the visa need to be registered on the platform on University and ask for a visa, and it's a visa to have the test and to start the courses. And after they need to put together all documents. And like, yeah, for every kind of visa, all they need, all proof about the financial. I mean, it's the same for every country, the financial matter, the admission letter, the health insurance value in Italy, and so on. And yeah, time because we need time. So the question of yeah, housing, we just I just mentioned before. I mean, it depends by university. Some universities start to be more organized than other, um, but take care about the location because change a lot about the city. They need also they need health insurance, that's sure, if they are not EU. And yes, the university are quite well organized to give all kind of support, like health, tutoring, counseling. Um, Always the famous word depends because it depends by university. About what's happened about work and stay in Italy, like many country, non-EU, with a permanent a student visa can work until 20 hours a week. And obviously not that's no problem for any European students. And after the graduation, they can apply for a 12 months job seeking permit. Mm. And they can stay in your, and I'm quite sure they have to stay in the country all the time. Yes, so I said you, Universitali, maybe it's a big website where everything comes inside for students who want to study in Italy. It's like UCAS in UK, and you can find a lot of information inside. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs too. And the question, and if you need to have more information about the accredited recognition, about the different diploma exam, the organization have the rule to recognize different kind of title is called CIMEA, and this is the link you can find. Mm. Do we need to be legalized? And that's it. I mean, so I
Uh,
think Italy have a lot of opportunities. So I don't want to say a lot of more because most of you knows Italy quite better than me. So
I will go through the chat quickly, Katya. Okay.
yeah, please.
So first question is, actually, let me go back up.
Mhm.
Okay, I think we answered that one.
I can see. So
We have a question about that sometimes parents wonder if a student will be competitive in the US job market if they studied in Europe. And how do you explain that to families in regards to a question
Oh,
like
this is a big topic, and regarding not only Italy, I think. That means the offer in general in Europe are growing, are becoming more and more competitive, and you have more and more um, students from the States we have every year in all countries in Europe. And so yes, so so if we're talking about title, the title are recognized everywhere. So, and after they have to work and play the cards they have, that means they have some university more common, more famous. What we don't have in Italy, what we don't have, is the kind of university like the applied science. So generally, if you don't think about the school, the technical school or the school of design or some special school like H-Farm, generally are school more academic. So that's something they have to take care. But I think the best advice you can do to your family is to be prepared to live in a country like Italy, like Spain, like Greece, to, to be so for students ready to be independent, can I say, and yeah, because they need to be ready to join all the opportunity the country can give inside the academy, inside the university, and outside.
Okay, that's great. I think, yes, I think that, and most people are working for, I think we have a more global world. People travel more, international
Yeah.
companies, and people are working from all over. So is there, is there a list of all private universities that teach some undergraduate programs in English? Everyone's always wanting a full list of all programs, but it can be challenging.
We private, you mean?
Yeah.
Private, we don't have a general list, but I mean the private university teach all in English is a list all of us knows,
Right. But I think they're looking, is there a website list for
it's
that?
not a website list, but you can find on University Italy the list of the university.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you need it, yeah, and the map too, where they are located.
And a map too. That's great.
Mm, yeah,
And then
but they are located in Milan and Rome. Mm.
Katja, somebody asked about a tutoring agency to help with Bocconi exams. And I remember when we were there in May that they had
Mhm.
launched the new app that had the test prep on that. Am I remembering that correctly? That Bocconi has an app for their test?
Bocconi has an app, yeah, has an app, so you can go through the website, and I'm sure you can find the 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 mm, the yeah,
I'll put it in
something about the app. Yeah,
I'll put it in the follow-up
they
email.
have an app.
What are about
And yeah, and Bocconi, yeah, because Bocconi, for example, Bocconi take the SAT or the test. I mean, the generally international students take the SAT just because they can send to different university, and if you take the Bocconi test, you use only for Bocconi. But yeah,
And then
in
we
some
know that it depends per university because
yeah,
they all have their own requirements. But you said that there's three APs roughly that students with a US diploma would need.
yeah.
Do we have an average of SAT or does it depend per institution?
Completely depends. I mean, the range of Bocconi is completely different from Lewis or some other university. It depends. It depends and change like everywhere every years. This years we are going very competitive because the application are growing a lot. So all university are becoming very more competitive than a few years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, and the level of SAT grow. Yeah.
Um, and
Mostly for Bocconi. mostly for Bocconi, less for the other one. Yeah.
And then for students in Russia or Ukraine that only have 11 years of schooling, are they not accepted before they've completed a foundation or pass a year at university in another
Yeah,
country?
exactly. For our law in Italy, you need to have a 12-year minimum.
And I think it's important to know that in Europe, for anyone that is working with students that maybe don't have the APs or are doing IB certificates, you have to meet the requirements of the education system of the country. And they don't necessarily mix curriculums. So you couldn't have a US high school diploma and IB certificates like coming from an international school. You have to have the APs in the US high school diploma or a full IB diploma. So those entry requirements are really important to know about early for students so
Yeah.
they know what those entry requirements are to meet the qualifications of, in this case, the Italian government.
Yeah, that is so important. It's really important. It's a really a topic. And I tell you, it's difficult for university to understand. You have to think about one important, because it's very different from university, for example, international university or university in US. We don't have in Italy, I'm talking about public, we don't have an admission office, you know? So we don't have many people take care about single application, you know, because we don't have inside, no? So that's the reason why they take a test, you know, because it's easier to find which kind of student I meet. That's the reason why we don't have letter, recommendation letter or motivation, because inside you don't have an admission office, you know. That's something, some universities try to do something like a Foscari, but it's quite unusual. So they need to see a very clear, yeah, qualification, you know, high school qualification. Every year they publish a legal, we call bando, that means come from minister, and inside you have all requirement. It's in Italian, it's in English, all requirement for every kind of diploma. Every university has.
Mhm. Um, okay, there's like a lot of questions. The dentistry question that keeps coming up, you're looking for more schools. I would say you could contact Katya if you need specific help in regards to the dentistry programs. That's a pretty specific case. Um,
That's a specific, if you are interested, write me, I have to check. I don't have an idea direct in English, but I'm sure I can check. I'm not so sure, but
we
I
just
will.
we have time for a couple more questions. Heather, your question regarding IB, does the school need to be recognized by the Ministry of Education? I'm not sure what you mean by that question.
What do you
So
mean?
when a few years ago, when
Uh,
the Ministry of Education has to approve the school through
mm.
the with that their IB program is on the list of approved schools. I'm not sure if that's still true, but that my school had to go through that about 15 years ago.
I don't think that's true anymore. I think the IB,
No,
I think
IB is IB, no? That's, you know, better than me because I'm not an IB expert, but
I believe the
IB.
recognition department through the IBO qualified all IB diplomas in the country of Italy. It's similar to just what happened
Yeah.
in.
So what's happened, maybe I think you need to have an official translation. That's I think so. Mostly, if you attend for courses in Italian, for sure.
If you attend courses in which in non-Italian,
Yeah,
the
in
legal
Italian.
version of the
Yeah,
diploma. It,
yeah,
I believe the IB is legalized. I will confirm with that though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so.
Okay, so we just have one more minute, but so Katya's information is there. I will follow up with an email as well with this information and her information. So keep an eye out from an email from me. And I'm sure she's happy to, if you have some questions in this.
Yeah, I mean, I try to put together all more information I could, but you have sometimes you have a different case, a specific case. So, like happen every time, write me if you have a specific question. I mean, because you know.
And then, this is, so I just want to make an announcement. This is a lot of information to go through in like 40 minutes. And so, and it depends on counselors and students. And so one of the things we are launching is Bright Guides, which is going to be our first entry guides, where each course that we build will be about applying to university in 5 different countries. Katja is our country expert. And she has been spending time building out an online course that will go through all of this information in much more detail, that you have the questions for both yourself if you're an independent counselor or school-based counselor, parents, as well as students. It will also have a long comprehensive guide. It will also have a quick reference guide. And then we are also working on campus guides and campus narratives, which will be bringing to life Bocconi University or bringing to life Polymoto, the schools that maybe you aren't able to go see, similar to the kind of the FISC Guide to Colleges narrative form. So you can head over to brightguides.com and put in your email address. And we hope to be launching this in the early 2026. And then we'll be starting with more countries after that to have just a hub of experts as well as a hub of countries where you can go and get the information that is needed. And we look forward to probably our next deep dive country will be Spain once we all get through this application fall year.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us. Any closing words about, I mean, who doesn't want to study in Italy? I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And thank you all for taking the time to attend the presentation.
Ciao a tutti.